something to shout about. Let it be known that our God saves, our God reigns. We lift you up, up, let it be known that love has come, love has won. We lift you up, 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 wow. Nothing can stop us now, no one can keep us down. We found our voice again, oh, 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 oh. No need for fear and shame, there's power in His name. Come on, let freedom reign. Let it be known that our God saves, our God reigns. We lift you up, up, let it be known that love has come, love has won. We lift you up, 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 wow. We lift your name up higher and higher. We lift your name up, Jesus. We shout your name out louder and louder. We shout it out now. We lift your name up higher and higher. We lift your name up, Jesus. We shout your name out louder and louder. We shout it out now. Let it be known that our God saves, our God reigns. We lift you up, up, let it be known that love has come, love has won. We lift you up, let it be known that our God saves, our God reigns. We lift you up, let it be known that love has come, love has won. We lift you up, wow.
What's up, friends? It's nothing but summer fun here, and we're so glad that you're here with us. We're talking about what it means to have confidence. Confidence is learning to see yourself the way God sees you. When you know how much God loves you, you can get in the mix and take on any challenge that life might throw your way. I'm pretty confident this week will be the best one yet. Let's see what we can learn this week about confidence.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Judges, chapters 6 through 8.
As many times before, the Israelites turned away from God. He allowed the Midianites to take over their land. God's people hid out in caves. When they tried to grow plants or tend to livestock, the Midianites would show up and destroy their crops and animals. At last, the Israelites cried out to God for help. He heard them and sent the angel of the Lord to a man named Gideon, who was threshing grain in a winepress.
Mighty warrior, the Lord is with you.
All Gideon could do for a moment was stop and stare.
Pardon me, sir. You said the Lord is with us? Then why has all this happened? The Lord has deserted us.
You are strong. Go and save Israel from the power of Midian. I am sending you.
Pardon me, sir, but how can I possibly save Israel? My family is the weakest in the tribe, and I'm the least important member.
I will be with you.
Even with a direct message from the Lord, Gideon was still nervous about the whole thing.
Give me a special sign. Then I'll know it's really you talking to me.
So God gave Gideon a sign, sending fire to burn up meat and bread. God's spirit was with Gideon, and when the Midianites and the Amalekites gathered to attack, Gideon sounded a trumpet for the Israelites to follow him. But even as the army gathered, Gideon once again pleaded to God for another sign. God responded by letting dew fall on a fleece, And then on the next day, only on the ground surrounding it.
Okay. Okay. I've got it. Thank you.
At last, Gideon was convinced God wanted to use him. He camped with 32,000 men at the spring of Harod and prepared for battle. Here, God spoke again.
I want to hand Midian over to you, but you have too many men.
Too many?
Israel might brag, my own strength has saved me. Announce to the army, those who tremble with fear can turn back.
Gideon did just as the Lord instructed.
There, Lord. 22,000 men have gone home. Only 10,000 left to fight.
There are still too many men.
Have you seen the Midianite army?
Take the men down to the water. There I will reduce the number of them for you.
Even though it must have worried Gideon to lose more of his army, he did just as the Lord said.
Field trip to the lake, everyone.
At the water's edge, the Lord said,
Some men will drink the way dogs do. They will lap up the water with their tongues. Separate them from those who get down on their knees to drink.
Gideon watched carefully. Most men got on their knees and drank directly from the water, but 300 men cupped the water in their hands and lifted them to their mouths to lap.
So, God, I send those 300 men home and keep the other 9,700, right?
With the help of the 300 men who lapped up the water, I will save you. Let all the other men go home.
Oh. Okay. Yes.
Gideon sent home every single person in the army except those 300 men.
Get some sleep. Tomorrow we will figure out what's next.
That night, the Lord spoke to Gideon once more.
Get up.
What? Oh, I'm awake.
Gideon stumbled out of his tent. Below, the campfires and torches of the enemy armies covered the entire valley.
So many. Like a swarm of locusts.
Go down to the camp. Listen to what they are saying. After that, you will not be afraid to attack.
Wondering if he might be dreaming, Gideon snuck down the mountain to hover in the shadows at the edge of the camp. He could hear voices from a nearby tent.
I had a dream. A round loaf of barley bread came rolling into the camp. It hit the tent with great force and knocked it flat.
Wow, but that can only be the sword of Gideon from Israel. God has given him the whole camp.
Gideon listened in shock.
Wow, God. Thank you.
At once, Gideon scrambled back up the hill to the Israelite camp.
Get up! Get up! The Lord has handed the Midianites over to you.
Quickly, Gideon separated the 300 men into 3 groups and handed each one a trumpet and a clay jar with a torch inside.
Watch me. Do what I do. I'll go to the edge of the enemy camp. Then we'll blow our trumpets from all around the camp and shout, "For the Lord and for Gideon!"
Gideon and his men headed quietly down the slope, fanning out in groups to surround the vast enemy camp.
Okay, get ready.
As soon as Gideon sounded his trumpet, he smashed his jar so the torch shone brightly. The other 300 men did the same.
For the Lord! A sword for the Lord! Gideon!
The Israelites held their ground, but their enemies panicked, confused by the trumpets and bright lights that pierced the dark night.
They're coming from everywhere.
The enemy armies were so confused, they began to fight each other, and then they fled in fear.
After the men.
Gideon and the Israelites chased their enemies all the way to the Jordan River and beyond until all the enemy armies were destroyed. The Israelites begged Gideon to rule over them.
I will not rule over you. The Lord will rule over you.
Yep, Gideon was an underdog, filled with doubt, but he still chose to follow God, and God used him to save the Israelites.
What an amazing story. You know, Gideon and the Israelites, they only needed jars, torches, and trumpets to win the battle because God was always in control. Gideon wasn't sure he was the right guy for the job, but God used him to do big things. God can do big things through us too, even though we sometimes don't feel ready. Gideon trusted God, and we can too. We can trust God no matter what. No matter what's going on around you, no matter how small or uncertain you might feel, God can use you no matter what. God used ordinary people to do big things all throughout the Bible. Think about how Jesus chose regular people to be his closest friends, the disciples. Then they changed the world by telling everyone about him. God can work through any of us if we have the courage to trust him and to follow his plan for our lives. Have a great week, everyone.